Hi everyone, it's Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose, and this is Wild Wisdom Wednesday. So welcome back to those of you who've been following me for the last year, right? Oh my God, October of last year is when we started Wild Wisdom Wednesday, pretty consistently. So for those of you that are just showing up or who are watching the replay later, you can skip ahead a little bit, but let me let you know what we're talking about here. Every Wednesday, I pick a book at random and pages inside that book at random, and we look at what kind of inspiration, insight, or even divine guidance shows up. So I've been doing this for a long time, and this is something I thought I would share with my audience because I find it very exciting to see not only how much wisdom is out there in the universe for us, just to reach out and grab hold of it, and also how we can look for these signs and guidance anywhere and really tap into kind of that spiritual soup. Why not? Spiritual soup that exists and kind of the fabric of the universe that we're all connected to. So for all of you guys that are popping on, just say hi, say hello, and make sure you join me on Wednesdays. If you sign up somewhere here and you say that you want to go ahead and get a notice next time I'm live, you'll get a notice no matter what time I come on. And if you happen to be online, you can join me. If not, of course, you can always watch the replay. Again, so tonight is Wild Wisdom Wednesday. We pick a book at random off my desk. Today's book is one that I've had for a long time, probably over, I'm going to say over 20 years. This book, oh, good, there we go. Richard Bach, The Bridge Across Forever. So since this is actually a non-fiction book, fiction book, caught myself there, it is more than likely that we'll have to read a little bit more to kind of see what the insight is. However, we might be surprised because I've been surprised before. So we're going to turn the page. Everybody say stop. All right. Or not. See? We cannot be surprised. So page 82, we actually start at the beginning of a chapter. And I love it because before I read this, I want to let you know something. Do you guys want to know a secret? Okay. So I spend most of my days, luckily, working with clients to find what their unique life purpose is. And the reason that I do that is so that they can understand that they are here, they were born intentionally to do exactly what it is that they're meant to do. And when people ask me why I call it the Oracle on Purpose, it's just that. Because she guided me through my changes, my transformations, so that I could find out what I was meant to do here on purpose. Because once upon a time, hey Melissa, I love this book too, right? It's awesome. Once upon a time, I was told that I was a mistake. I was told that I wasn't meant to be here. And thankfully, I've done enough work over these last 30 some years to know that that's not the truth. And I often let my clients know, especially when they're challenged with this, that they are not a mistake, that there aren't any mistakes. So that's why I wanted to share that. I preface our tonight's topic with this, because on page 82, I open to this beginning of this chapter 11. There are no mistakes. Seriously, that's what it says. Okay. The events we bring upon ourselves, no matter how unpleasant, are necessary in order to learn what we need to learn, whatever steps we need to take. They're necessary to reach the places we've chosen to go. I don't even think I'm going to read any more than that tonight. I'm going to read it again, though, just so it sinks in. There are no mistakes. The events we bring upon ourselves, no matter how unpleasant, are necessary in order to learn what we need to learn. Whatever steps we take, they are necessary to reach the places we've chosen to go. Right? That might have been loud on my mic. Sorry about that. So what does that mean? Well, I'm sure it means a lot of things to different people, but it's Wild Wisdom Wednesday. It's my show, so I get to tell you what it means to me, okay? So, as I mentioned before I read it, that literally is what I'm all about. That really, truly, and honestly, there is absolutely no mistake. Everything that's brought you where you are in this exact moment is there for a reason to bring you further. I recently just got back from a phenomenal workshop with a group of dynamic coaches, healers, leaders. And one of the things that the person that was leading, the workshop, Jesse Corin, mentioned was his idea and the concept that he shares with his children, that the universe, that there is no mistake in the universe. The universe is kind, that it is everything that happens is happening for us. It's either helping, of course, to teach us something or to support us in some way. And I definitely feel like I'm in alignment with that thought process, and I have been for a very long time. And as soon as I say that, I can, while people aren't necessarily marking up the chat log with it, I can feel that resistance to that idea and that concept. And recently, someone asked me about the fires in Santa Rosa, which happens to be my hometown. And they asked what the Oracle thought about the fires happening on purpose. And, I'm taking a sigh right now because I asked her a question back, which is typically the way the Oracle shows up for me. And the question the Oracle said was, do you want the truth, or do you want the answer that will make you happy? And I don't know that we necessarily need to get into the answer. Everybody's probably going, what? But I thought just that concept that she posed it way to this woman, really, as I'm sitting there interpreting, right? Because I'm basically a vessel for this message. Because in my heart, I know that for a very long time, I've held an alignment with the idea that whatever's happening, there's something good happening for me in it. Now, that's different than saying, in my mind, that's different than saying that it happened on purpose to you, even though it was bad. But more like there is something good in the experience that is for you. Now, I don't know if that helped her feel any more connected to that answer or not, but to me, really it talks about the fact that if we are really aware that there isn't a mistake, that we're here on purpose, that our lives matter, that the things that we do and the things that we want to do are determined by an energy that moves through us as us, then we can look at that, I think, with a better sense of calm and peace. And even excitement. Because think about it. If you allow yourself to take that on, even if you just maybe play with it for a little bit, right? Look at your life right now, whatever that looks like, kind of whatever's going on around you. Can you, in every section of your life, find something that's happening that's actually there to give you something, to provide something for you, to give you a lesson, or point the way to a new doorway, or shift your mindset, or give you an opportunity to practice a new mindset, right? What if that was really all that a situation was about? Could you allow yourself to let go of the attachment to the wrongness of it, and instead step, maybe not in front of it, but maybe just lift yourself above it a bit and say, if I were to look at this experience kind of like the way we used to look at those 3D pictures, which, by the way, I can never get the 3D pictures. What's up with that? I never get them. However, I tell that people were able to soften their focus and see the image of the 3D pictures. And it reminds me a little bit of that. Like if we could soften our focus and maybe even soften our grip around what a specific situation means, then maybe there would be a gift in it. Maybe we could find that layer or that level of the situation that is for us, that is providing us something, So think about that for a moment. Again, look around your own life today. I like to use that as an example because I think that oftentimes we get emotionally attached to events, as humans are apt to do, right? And then all we're thinking about is that emotional attachment. And we can kind of spiral into being stuck in that fear, frustration, doubt, whatever it is that kind of comes up from that. And never have the opportunity to receive the gift of that moment, whatever it is. It's interesting because this, of course, is playing into some of my sessions I had today as well. And without going into details, I can say that this is also a theme there. That when we have not necessarily even preconceived notions, but maybe long-term belief systems set up around an event, that the people or the places, right, of that event can somehow store and trigger our responses, and they're almost like automatic. You know, if that's the case, the beautiful thing is it's just programming, right? So we've programmed ourselves to behave in a certain way or have a certain reaction around those people or that kind of a place or that kind of a situation. And yet the reality of it is with that programming comes a gift. Because if it's just programming, we can reprogram it. We can change the model. We can change the idea. We can change the concept of what it means if we allow ourselves to. You know, another thing that I was talking about a lot today, and it's kind of been thematic this week, is free will. We have the choice to look at it differently or not. I recently did a lot of work with different people this weekend, and almost to a T, I think, every single time there was a cautionary tone that came through from the oracle saying, or not. And I remember thinking, I don't necessarily, or don't usually, I should say, I don't usually add that in when I'm working with my clients, but it was interesting that every single time it came up. And I'm thinking back now to the fact that by coming up, there was a recognition and acknowledgement of free choice, free will. And it wasn't so much that it wasn't a foreboding thought, right? It wasn't a or else, right? There's a big difference. Or not, or else, right? And sometimes you can get into situations where people say, well, if you don't do this, then that's going to happen, almost as if it's inevitable. And I felt like the message that the oracle was trying to impart was, it's okay to make a different choice. That there is room and there's space and there are no mistakes. There's just lessons and there's just learning, and it will continue. So you can make the choice now or not. There's always room to renegotiate. There's always room to reevaluate, reassess where you are, and choose differently. There are no mistakes. There are only moments to choose. And every moment brings its own opportunity to choose again. So if you can, hey Gina, if you can think about that, if you can come to the idea and the realization that if there are no mistakes, if the things that happen around us are happening for us, and we take that knowledge, not necessarily as a battle cry, but as a gift from the universe to see something differently, then how might we open ourselves to a new experience, to a new way of being in process, right? So as we're looking at things that happen, you know, kind of going back to the idea of the fires in Santa Rosa, the answer, since I did kind of leave you guys hanging, the answer that the oracle gave her was yes, that there is, and that's okay. That the fabric, the tapestry of life includes all of these things. It includes the pain, it includes, excuse me, the joy, it includes the laughter, the love, the death, the dying. And the cycle of that is just is. It just is. And our attachment to the reactions, our attachment to the outcomes, and our expectations of what should be are the things that add that extra layer of pain or trauma. And again, we can be at choice on how we experience it. And that's not the nice thing to say, right? I remember there were a couple people at the table when we were having that conversation, and I felt that kind of gasp, right? Like kind of pulled back, like, oh, like it's not my job to sugarcoat the messages I receive from the Oracle. It's just not. I deliver them as I get them. I try to hold space for the people that are receiving them. And I do my best to minimize the way that I phrase them so that they are as clear and clean as they can be. And what was really interesting is even though other people kind of gasped about it, I noticed that for her, she seemed at peace with the answer, right? I think there was something authentic about that answer that made her feel true about it, right? Like, oh, it doesn't always have to be a nice answer. It doesn't always have to be a nice ending. Sometimes it just is. But the beauty of it all is that it is on purpose. That there is something bigger moving, and there are so many layers of life and existence that we can't possibly, as individuals, always recognize that. And again, then we get to be in choice, right? So when we see that, are we asking ourselves in that dark day, in that loss of a loved one, if that loss of a relationship, what is in this for me right now, right where I am? What is in this for me? Is there a lesson? Is there an opportunity? Right? Because I said that too, that there can often be an opportunity to practice something we've decided we're going to have or do or be. Right? It's not so much that, the old, I don't know if it's an old adage or not, but it's something I've heard before. Like when you ask for patience, God doesn't give you patience. He gives you the opportunity to be patient. And I feel that that's the same of the universe, right? That the things that come into our lives are there to give us something. And the kicker is, more often than not, in my experience, it's the things that we're asking for. The things that are going to help us get where we believe we are going. And so, even through the tears, even through the frustration, even through the anger and all of those emotional experiences, again, if we can soften our gaze, if we can loosen our grip and stand back as if we are standing looking at this tapestry from the stars, what will we see? What will shine out to tell us this is the way? This is the thing you were asking for. This is how you get there. And find all of the layers of beautiful things that happen in these moments. I have a very dear friend who lost her home, and I was amazed by her response and deeply touched by how she stood up and said, on the very ground where her house used to stand and is now in rubbles, here are the things I'm grateful for. Here are the things that this is showing me. Here are the people that are showing up to show me they care and they love me. All because of this fire. So that's what I hope for you. I hope you know more than anything, you are absolutely not a mistake. That your life matters and that you are given that life on purpose. That the things that happen around and through you happen on purpose. And while they may not be obvious in the moment, if you can soften your gaze, loosen your grip, and look with loving eyes, I promise you, you can find something in any situation that is for you. And if you happen not to feel like you are here on purpose, or you feel like you have a really driving purpose but aren't really clear about what to do next to bring it forward, I hope you'll reach out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead tonight and I'm going to put a free link in the bottom of this comment section, and it will allow you to get a 20-minute session with me where we can talk about how you really are here on purpose and perhaps give you a little bit of clarity about what steps you can take next to really shine that purpose in the world. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching the replay. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put that link inside the comments so you can go ahead and click on that link and grab your 20-minute Oracle session for clarity and action today. All right, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time for Oracle on Purpose and Wild Wisdom Wednesday. Bye now.